Have you ever had one of those fancy dinners where everything looks perfect, but tastes like disappointment? Yeah, that was my Friday night. They promised fine dining. I got a fine disaster. Last Friday, I decided to treat myself to a fancy dinner. It had been a long, exhausting week, and I thought I deserved something special. I made a reservation at a new 5-star restaurant in the city center. It had amazing reviews online. People called it the hidden gem of the city. The photos looked like something from a lifestyle magazine. Golden light, marble tables, elegant people holding wine glasses. When I walked in, the place looked incredible. Soft jazz played in the background. Candles flickered on every table. And the smell. Oh, the smell. Everything felt expensive. Even the air. The waiter appeared out of nowhere, wearing a perfectly ironed black suit. He smiled and said,
Good evening, ma'am. Would you like some sparkling water to start?
Of course I said yes. I mean, I wasn't about to ruin the vibe with tap water. Then I opened the menu. And honestly, my eyes immediately got lost. There were so many options. Lobster risotto, wild mushroom soup, hand-cut pasta with truffle cream, slow-cooked duck with orange glaze. Every dish had at least one word I had to Google. Sensing my hesitation, the waiter leaned closer and said in a low, confident voice,
If I may recommend, the chef's special tonight is our truffle-infused linguine. Truly extraordinary.
That was it. I closed the menu like I was signing a deal with destiny. 20 minutes later, the dish arrived. And it looked breathtaking. The pasta was perfectly swirled on the plate, sprinkled with herbs, and topped with something shiny that I assumed was the hint of magic. But then came the first bite. Cold. Second bite? Way too salty. Third bite? A tiny piece of shell. I froze. Was this part of the extraordinary experience? The waiter walked by, smiling proudly, as if he'd just delivered art. So I said politely, "Excuse me, the pasta is a bit colder than expected." He nodded, took the plate, and disappeared. 10 minutes later, the dish came back. Slightly warmer, yes, but the hint of magic was gone. Now it had a hint of panic. And somehow, the pasta was both softer and sadder. Then, the pianist started playing My Heart Will Go On. It felt like the soundtrack to my culinary heartbreak. When the waiter returned and asked,
Was everything all right, ma'am?
I smiled politely and said, "It was memorable." Later that night, I went home, opened the fridge, and made myself a simple cheese sandwich. And honestly, it was the best meal I'd had all week. Let's look at some useful phrases and vocabulary from this story. They'll help you sound more natural when you talk about food, restaurants, or bad experiences in English. Fancy dinner. A special or elegant meal, usually expensive and at a nice restaurant. Example: They went out for a fancy dinner to celebrate their anniversary. The hidden gem of the city. A place that's not very famous, but surprisingly good or beautiful. Example: This small cafe is a hidden gem of the city. Their desserts are amazing. Reservation. Booking a table in advance. Example: I made a reservation for 2 at 7 p.m. Sophistication. Elegance and high-class quality. Example: The restaurant had a sense of sophistication, from the lighting to the music. Hesitation. The act of pausing before deciding. Example: After a moment of hesitation, I decided to order the pasta. Extraordinary. Very special or unusual. Example: The view from our table was absolutely extraordinary. Breathtaking. Extremely beautiful. Example: The restaurant's design was breathtaking, like a movie scene. So tell me, have you ever had a disappointing meal at a fancy place? Write about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so you don't miss the next English story full of useful phrases.